In stacks of old postcards, you'll likely find a bunch featuring Bourbon Street. Less often, you'll come across the Blue Room at the Roosevelt. When in New Orleans, this postcard reads, "Visit the top of the Mart." You can only visit that wondrous lounge in pictures now. We showed up just in time for a final spin. In 1964, the brand new New Orleans World Trade Center was called the International Trade Mart, and way up there was the top of the Mart Lounge. It takes a second elevator to get up to the highly decorated bistro at the top. When those doors open, you gasp. Great Jackie Gleason, it's all still here. An odd thing about the top of the Mart is that it hasn't changed much in 3.5 decades. The red velvet drapes, gold swags, and slingback chairs are all throwbacks to the martini and cigarette sophisticado set a la mode Dean Martin, James Bond, Las Vegas et al. From high above the traffic, from the best view anywhere, Jerome Stedman has watched his beautiful city spin.
At that time, the senior proms were a big thing, and all schools had them. Of course, now no one has them. The schools are concerned with the liability aspects of it, and they wouldn't think of even sponsoring one. But at that time, it was a big event, and that was before tourism was really a factor, and our business was probably 90–95% local business at that time. And another factor, there was no place you could see the river from the street level. All the wharves were straight, just solid wharves. You couldn't see it, the ferry even. There was no moonwalk, no river walk. Even on Canal Street, there was one of the United Fruit or someone had a banana warehouse there, and if you knew the right people, you'd run down and get a few bananas for lunch.
It revolves at what pace?
3 feet per minute. It takes an hour and a half to make a complete turn. You can't feel it, you can't hear it. If you look at the window frames, you can see that the furniture is moving.
But an hour and a half to make one revolution, that's really slow. It seems very slow, doesn't it?
Yes, except that mechanically it must be a problem to make them any bigger, because this is one of the largest ones in the world. It's 24 miles across the lake. It's about 14 from here to there, so you're looking at around 35–40 mile view. But that's the best of all views.
On a clear day, you can practically see forever. You can see Mandeville, really?
Yes.
This is really nice to look at night, I'll bet, because it's backlit and they can see lots of these nice colors. Young professionals, the yuppies we might call them, are all interested in that Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra music and smoking the cigar and having the sophisticated martini. It seems like you've got the built-in lair for that. This is the sophisticated swingers bar.
That's right, yeah. I think that's why everyone wants to buy the memorabilia now that's take something home with them and keep it there to remind them of the good times they had here and their special occasions.
The new owner, some out-of-town celebrity married to one of those supermodels, is going to replace all this authentic stuffing with new stuff to evoke the retro 60s martini and cigarette sophisticado set a la Dean Martin et al. Didn't Disney World drain the Everglades to install mechanical alligators?
The circumstances of them discussing it for 10 years, it really wasn't a shock. There were times when it looked like they would never get together and to do what they wanted to do. There were so many people involved in trying to convert it to something else. So it's not like we weren't aware of it. It was in the newspapers regularly. And when it did come, I guess we all knew it was coming, we just didn't know when.
After 35 years of spinning up there, the top of the mart took one last turn and closed forever in August. Jed Stedman was neither terribly philosophic nor saddened by it all. His years in the upsy-down lounge business before this gig prepared him to accept it as just another turn of events. The hand-carved wooden medallions honoring the city's Mardi Gras cruise were sold off a few weeks after our visit. Gone are the huge paintings of early pioneers discovering and claiming the Mississippi River. Watching the river flow past his doorstep 33 floors below, you can imagine how Stedman can be more accepting than most.
I have to look at the good side of it, is that it's been just a pleasure showing off the city and the state to millions of visitors.
Something about that Old Man River that you can see so clearly from up here. You know, he just keeps rolling along.